and you're listening to Blue Shirt
Underground Show,
the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers.
Blue Shirt Underground, motherfucker!
Can't BS a Ranger fan. Can't BS a Ranger fan.
This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York.
Knowing them is like going to college. Hamburger University. Jim and Eddie.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Blue Shirt Underground Show. Thank you, Colin Cosell, for that beautiful introduction. My name is Jim. It is Thursday. It is July the 18th of the year 2024. Exciting times in Rangerland indeed. The season can't get here fast enough. As always, I am joined on the other side of the window by the one and only Eddie Geik. Eddie, good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Times indeed.
Oh, it's very exciting, very exciting. I'm just threw away all the party favors from the Chad Ruedel signing. And I see your boy Matt Robertson got re-up for a year for AHL depth.
Matt Robertson in the lineup opening night.
He was called up like 15 times, never played.
My prediction.
Listen,
we heard nothing really encouraging about Matt Robertson last year. Heard that he might have taken a step back, heard that he might have, fallen out of favor with the organization. I am banking my hopes that he just went stagnant in the NHL and he is just ready to full bloom when he gets to the NHL. It has happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think on the Laviolette, a lot of guys get chances. He's not afraid to go to the minors and
right,
pick up somebody. And I think the Rangers are a little bit thin on the D. I mean, Eric Gustafson signed with Detroit. So now wasn't the biggest Eric Gustafson fan, but he was serviceable.
Bye-bye.
Wow. That's a voice from the past. So
we didn't win a cup with you. We cannot win a cup without you.
Well, I mean, for what he was, he was okay. I'm not gonna,
Bye-bye.
He's on the Gus bus.
Laughlin once again from the grave. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so everybody's banking on Zach Jones, and everybody's hot on him. I mean, I was hot on him when they got him, and then I feel a little trepidatious now that everybody thinks he could be that 6. Now I'm worried maybe I would like a more physical guy in that 5 and 6 role. Now, I guess you could say Jacob Trouba is that physical guy.
Right.
But I'm looking for Jacob Trouba to bounce back this season. I mean, if he plays with the Rangers, I just don't think the guy is that bad as people try to make him out there. They want to just classify him as a third pairing defenseman. I think he's still got a little bit, some juice left. What do you think?
I think he does too.
Oh, we are. If you don't look at the salary, which you got to, if frankly, that's the day and age we live in. But I look at the player. It's not my money. I don't give a fuck. I mean, is he an $8 million player? No. I'm not sure he was an $8 million player when he got here. But with the hitting and the blocking of the shots, and if he could throw some big hits this year, I think he'd be a second pairing defenseman in the NHL in the regular season. And he just had a disastrous season.
Right. It wasn't subpar. It happens. Hello, Cutter. Hello, Matt Peterson, Matt Morello, Matt Zenobia.
Oh, Matty Z and Matt Peterson is here, and
all the Matts are here.
Cutter is here.
Kim Sunback, Patty Duke, Rob Scotty, John Riggs is here.
Rock is here. Patty Duke. Did you say Patty
What's up,
Duke?
Rock?
What's going on?
Good to see all of you. I noticed we are not streaming on Twitter tonight, and that's not a huge deal.
Twitter. I didn't even know we were streaming on Twitter.
Yeah, we actually get a lot of people that watch us on Twitter, but or X, if you will. But they've changed their rules that now you have to be a verified tweeter.
Oh, that costs money, though. That costs money, right?
$3 a month.
I can't afford that.
In order to stream on Twitter, you have to be verified. So I went ahead and verified it, but I did the $3 a month to verify myself, which bothers me to no end because I fucking hate Twitter. But
yeah, you're always talking about how much you hate things as cesspool.
It is. It's a complete cesspool. It's nothing but cowards and keyboard warriors. But anyway, I did the verified thing, but for some reason we're not streaming. Maybe there was something I needed to do on the restream end. But
maybe Elon Musk doesn't like you.
We'll get it fixed. I'm giving him my money. I mean, he's hard up. Deanna Lindsay is here. What's up, Deanna? Good to see you.
What elbow is she talking about? The one that got him suspended for a game? Or was it with him hurling himself like a projectile and missing?
I think it was the hurling himself like a projectile.
Well, what are you going to be mad about? Let it go. I mean, he didn't even hit the guy.
Right.
I feel like some people, Ranger fans, are like, "Oh my, he's a dirty son of a bitch. I can't rub." Hey, I want the dirty son of a bitch on my team.
Right. Matt Morello, to answer your question, that is the Ranger banner that was hanging outside our house until a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
We hung that up during the playoffs.
Remember when Twitter? You remember we were like on the forefront of Twitter, both me and you. We were early signers up to that thing.
Yeah, well, I was running the banter at the time, and you got to be on Twitter. You got to be on Twitter.
Twitter.
I get on Twitter, and there's people tweeting, "Oh, my check engine light just came on. What do I do?" And I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing here?"
Yeah,
like this is my
weird.
My first thought is, let me go on Twitter and see. Go get your car checked out. You need Twitter to tell you what you do.
I remember that being an early complaint of yours.
Mindless. Just mindless cowards, people that would never, ever say the things they say on there in person.
Well, in the beginning of Twitter, it had, like all things invented by humans, it had good intentions that completely, again, it's like that, like a Twilight Zone episode. It's where it starts off with good intentions. They find the cure for this, how to serve man or something like that.
Right.
And it turns out to be a disaster for humanity.
It's a cookbook.
It's a cookbook.
It's a cookbook.
You remember those tweet ups? I think me and you went to a couple of those.
I went to
actually meet, like, to discuss the Rangers or whatever your common interest was.
Right. There were NHL tweet ups. There was one at the first draft I attended. There was a tweet up in Montreal.
And then it just turned to shit like 2 years later.
And then humanity took over.
Yes.
And then we did what we do. We weaponized stupidity.
And that's
weaponized stupidity.
Yes. So I was on Rock's show. I asked him a couple questions. I I don't know why they're sprung in my head because the Rangers have about $4 million or so in cap space still. What would you want to see them do with that $4 million? Are they going to hold on to it?
$4 million.
What?
Oh, we got to save something for the goaltender, right?
But isn't that next year?
Well, you still gotta start putting the pennies away, don't they? According to Puckpedia, they have $5,123,476 in cap space.
No, Deanna, I think it was intentional. I mean, like, no one's perfect. Jacob Trouba, sometimes you make a mistake, you lose your head. I've lost my temper. I made mistakes. I tell you about a mistake I made, but I'll save that for later in the show. Remind me about my mistake.
All right.
Lindgren is due for contract next year, right? At the end of this year coming up.
Yes.
Right.
Ryan Lindgren has not signed yet, right? So I think they still have to have some money for him. I don't believe he's signed. If he did, according to the Hockey News, which used to be a reputable place to get hockey news.
Oh, that place, that's trash.
The Rangers and actually this came from Arthur Staple. That's who.
All right, we like Arthur Staple.
That's a former guest of the show. Apparently the Rangers are getting close to finalizing a 1-year deal.
Ooh.
A 1-year deal in the vicinity of Lindgren's $3.6 million qualifying offer. According to Arthur Staple, things appear to be fairly quiet on contract talks with Shesterkin, Miller, and Lafreniere. All of that could change within the next couple of months, but the contract talks might not begin in earnest until the calendar turns to 2025. I'm sorry. Popular opinion or unpopular opinion, I still don't want to pay the goaltender 14% of my salary cap. That's just me. I'll take my chances with the next level guy who might be $5 million a year cheaper and spend that money spend that money on other players.
I think we're in the minority, Jim. I've been talking out and about with the Ranger fans, and they look at me like, yeah, but if it wasn't for him, we would have went nowhere in the playoffs. And I'm like, well, I think that's an indication that we need more money in the forwards and defensemen because you can't play like that and be in your zone. Even if you have the best goalie in the world, you're not going to win. I mean, if the guy wants 14% of your cap, I'm sorry. I hate to say I'm sorry. We should never say I'm sorry, but I feel that I love Igor. Again, I don't know why I have to make these qualifications, but he's not worth 14% of the cap. I've been down this road with Henrik. Put Dylan Garand in there, and I think so far what I've seen on the AHL level, he's pretty good. He seems to be getting better every year. Just think of that $14 million where you could invest that in.
Right.
Again, it's a tough decision. Maybe all this austerity with Chris Drury is about saving this money to give Igor that contract. I know it's hard to imagine the New York Rangers without Shesky in net, but how long is it going to be for? And I know the cap is going up this year and next year. I don't know how much. They're going to have to make a decision on Panarin in a couple of years. They're going to have to. The big decisions are looming, and this core is not getting any younger. So I don't know. It's quite puzzling. I don't know where everybody's at with it. I think that the management wants Shesterkin.
Well,
that's what all appearances.
I mean, I'm looking at UC Soros as something of a benchmark because he just signed a contract with Nashville, right? And he signed, I think he signed an 8-year deal with a cap hit, I believe, yearly, correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere around $7.7 million. Okay. UC Soros finished the season with 35 wins, 24 losses, 2.86 goals against, and a 906 save percentage. Now, granted, those numbers, those are not Igor numbers. But he also didn't play on a team as good as the Rangers. And you're going to tell me that a guy who puts up those kind of numbers, you can't win, that you can't be successful with a guy that puts up numbers around that, assuming they're going to improve just a little bit, being on a better team with some better defense in front of them. Instead, we're going to spend another $5 million on a goaltender that will hamstring you for 8-10 years. I don't know. I just think we've been down this road before. And
I know. I'm trying to think of it logically. That's why I've come to the conclusion that
I'm open for discussion here.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'm just.
What about a hometown discount?
But I feel like we've kind of got some history here doing this, where the goaltender consumed a big chunk of cap space, and it prevented them from doing other things. Now, granted, we also had a GM that was a buffoon who handed out $6 million to Wade Redden and $5 million to Michael Roosevelt, and excuse me, I forget how many million to Chris Drury and Scott Gomez.
Valerie Kamensky.
Right. And those guys were all under contract while Hank was here. But Igor for 10.5, I guess. I don't know. Who's the guy from the Knicks that just took, what did he take? $150 million less money to stay with the Knicks?
Jalen Brunson?
Is that his Bunsen burner?
The Bunsen burner? What did he take?
Smith? Is that his?
How much less? 150,000?
I thought I read somewhere that he left like $150 million on the table just to re-sign with the Knicks. Now I'm sure we have Wojtek Wolski, the Polish prince.
The Polish prince.
I'm sure somebody here follows basketball, may be able to answer that question for me. But Brunson, $113 million less. Thank you, Rob.
Wow, that's a lot of Fishnagel, Sam.
Right. He's going to be eating cat food now just to play for the Knicks.
I mean, come on. Yeah. I mean,
so I don't know if it's prudent.
It's certainly, like you said, up for discussion. Right now, people are they give me crazy eyes when I talk about this. But can we just have a normal franchise for a bit? I mean, put the brakes on the no movement clauses and the outrageous contracts. Let's do it, But Drury's making money. He's making room. And like you said, but I still think there's some pieces to go out there. A lot of people, or a trade or two. How about that? How about this guy gets off his arse and makes a trade?
Well, yeah, I mean, right now,
player for a player deal, you got Capo Caco. Trade this fucking bum.
Right now they're as it is right now, they're just running it back. With a few minor tweaks at the fourth line.
I'm sick of the
Capo and
with the puck. He's a puck carrier. You strong on the puck. What?
And Riley Smith, who I'm now reading, is going to be given a chance to play on the first line.
Oh, God. Bum of the Month Club.
Riley Smith.
Listen, I got no answers.
I feel like what's his?
It's very uninspiring. Let's put it that way.
What was the guy's name that used to do the Price is Right? The introductions. Come on down. What was his name?
Johnny Olsen. Was it
Johnny Olsen? Right.
Yeah, the first guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't remember the other guy's
Then
name.
they got
Rod something.
Yeah, Rod, some chubby guy.
Right. Riley Smith, come on down. You're the next contestant on Figure Out the Bromance.
Break them fucking up.
And it always turns out to. And then
Rod Roddy.
Deadline. Rod Roddy, thank you.
Come on, that's the gayest name ever. What's the name, Rod Roddy? Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but that is a gay name. Frankie the Rifle?
Trevor Vigras rumors still floating around?
Yeah, Trevor Zegras, yes. And that's still, I think that's just a lot of fucking nonsense. I know there's one bargain basement guy. I would like to see them spend some more money on defense. I don't think they have any depth at defense. Because right now, I mean, you got Ruedel. He's your 7. How much do we know about Chad Ruedel? I mean, he didn't play all that much.
Right.
The minor leagues, what do we got on defense? Matt Robertson. What else we got down there? I couldn't tell you another guy.
Zach Jones, got Brandon Scanlon.
Well, I think Zach Jones, the scan man. Well, we got Zach Jones is, I would assume, is going to be on number 6. Now with the departure of Eric Gustafson.
Got Blake Hillman. Got Ryan Seedham. I see him, but I don't believe him.
I don't want to see him again. You guys are on point in this chat room, let me tell you. I mean, it's not I feel like they need a veteran defenseman presence. Ben Harper. Is Ben Harper, is he back? I know he was hurt all year. Joe Long, what's up, my brother? Just celebrating his 90th year as a Ranger fan.
Joe Long, is he?
Yeah. No. He's always been a fan.
It's 90th year.
You ever notice, like, sometimes on the internet, people preface, or even on the radio, like on sports talk radio, they've got to say, I've been a Ranger, I've been a Yankee fan for 48 years. Like, they try to top each other.
You got to legitimize yourself.
You got to legitimize yourself. I've been a Ranger fan for so long, I don't know shit.
You know, you got to
make me any smarter.
The first thing you got to do is show your Ranger Dakota pin.
Yeah.
You know, how long you've been a fan. You either say how long you've been a fan, or you name the player. I go back. I go back to the Rod Gilbert days.
I go back to Bun Cook and Bill Cook. I saw them play.
I go back to the Jacques Plante days.
I remember when Babe Dye scored a game-winning goal with the old guard, the first guard. You know, like they go into that whole thing.
Oh, I used to get my tickets at Garden 2.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you got to legitimize yourself. Listen, I've been a Giants fan for 45 years. I'm telling you, this Daniel Jones ain't got it.
I don't think he ever had it. It's like those.
Joe goes back further.
What?
Joe
goes back further than that.
He goes long. Joe Long goes long.
He goes long. 200 years as a Ranger fan, even before they were conceived.
He was in
He
the
was
room when Tex Rickard signed the deal.
Yes,
Joe Long
he was
said,
there.
Go ahead, sign the deal.
He totally. He said, Tex Rickard, this is a good investment.
The National Hockey
Down
Association
Bush
is
has
going
got
to
a
be
Bill
a
Cook jersey. I know that. All right. So Rangers got some hard decisions to make, or some easy decisions. It looks like they're good. Like you said, they're going to run them back out there for another second hit season.
Right. Held over.
Held over for another year.
Like chorus line.
I mean, in a way, you've got to imagine. Well, let's talk about the guys that I think are completely dead weight and will not improve whatsoever. Filipino.
Wow.
It's over.
Wow.
It is over.
That's it.
He's one hit away from,
Filipino. 21 years old, been in the league 12 years.
I mean, he played under Vigneault. I've seen enough.
Played for almost as many coaches as Chris Kreider.
I go back so far. I remember when Emil Francis played with a baseball glove in net. And then he got called up. Who was the president of the league then? I remember he said, he was telling us. The president of the league called him, but you can't play with a second baseman's glove.
Shit.
Who was it? They named something after this guy. Look up the presidents. Harvey Wallbang? I don't know, some guy like that. George Mountain Landis, or what was that guy? No, that was baseball. Shit. It was,
well, maybe it was Clarence Campbell.
Clarence Campbell, he was like in my age. It was before him.
Clarence Campbell was the president of the NHL for 30 years. 46 to 77. Before him was Red Dutton.
Oh,
and if you're a Ranger fan, you know who Red Dutton is.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on, Filipino. What is
Eddie, my grass guy, is here.
Oh, here we go.
What?
No, I'm just saying. Of course, during a show, the grass guy show. So.
Oh, you can't. He's outside. I hear him outside, but his name's Eddie. That's why I said Eddie, my grass guy. Is here.
Okay. I thought there was going to be some noise thing. It's like, what grass guy comes at 7:30 at night?
He does. I think this is his
side. His name? Chico Escuela?
His side hustle.
Oh, okay.
I think. Good guy though. We had a tree fall in the backyard. Demolished our fence in the backyard.
Oh, that sucks.
The side of the house. The other night we had a bad storm. I was able to clean up most of it. My other neighbor came over the other day with his chainsaw and helped me yesterday. But now there's a big tree where he's got a cut on the outside of our fence. So I don't know what he's gonna do. I texted him about it, but
all right. I'm taking some heat from
about
my Heedle. About Heedle. Okay.
About Heedle?
I mean, all right. I think he's a great player.
I mean, look, obviously Eddie wants to be wrong when he says these things.
What?
I said, obviously, Eddie wants to be wrong when he hears about these things. You want to hear from Filipino? Whoa, look at that. What's this going? What's this thing?
What's this thing? Look at his dope.
What is this going on here with the...
He shaved.
This setup here. What's this?
What do you mean?
Something new. Oh, interesting. Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed that. Whoa.
No. Huh. Why did it... Weird. I don't know why it did it like that. And now I don't know how to get it back. Back. Touch it in the back. Nope. That ain't right.
All right. I think Filipino's going to bust out this year, get 35 goals. There you go.
Like I said, it doesn't matter. I just want to play. I just want to be an important player for this team. And it's going to be a big challenge for me after this season.
Sorry for Athens. but obviously you missed a lot of time going into the playoffs. How much more do you think you'll be able to give when you're not just jumping into the middle of kind of a playoff series and have actual time to like work into games?
Yeah, it's
Right there, when he touched his head, he gave himself a concussion, by the way. He's out 6 months.
What was this? At
like everybody's gonna have time off right now, and we're coming with a clean sheet in September. So I will do my best in the whole summer. I will work hard as always, maybe even harder, because that 6 months was a long time. So yeah, I don't have any time right now. I don't need to rest that much. So yeah, I will do everything what I can to come back in September and, how I said, be a better player than I ever been before.
How proud were you of the fact that you were able to get back for the playoffs this year?
Yeah, it was huge. I think I don't know how many people expected that I'm gonna be back and that I'm gonna jump to conference finals, which is you cannot play better hockey than conference finals. So
No, Stanley Cup. Yeah, Stanley Cup.
Play better hockey in the conference final.
Great for me personally and for
That's
my
the
head
mentality
that I'm
this guy has.
able to play.
It's enough.
That's enough.
It's enough.
No, body, blah, blah, blah. The guy doesn't even know the Stanley Cup is the most important thing to play in. There were a couple things that I didn't like about Laviolette last year. Bringing back Heedle, bringing back Blake Wheeler. Bringing back
Who retired, by the way, I believe, right?
Yeah, he retired last year. He just played in some games.
Blake Wheeler.
I believe he's announced his retirement.
Oh, God bless. God bless. Well, the only dumb things I thought he did. Oh, we're all a group. We got to play. I'm done with Filipino. I'm stating it now. On July 18th, 2024.
The year of our Lord.
The year of our Lord. Filipino is a dud. I want to go to the next dud. That Capo Caco dud. Please trade these guys for whatever you can get. And
that remains to be seen. There's no guarantee that Capo Caco is is on the roster.
Because there's very few UFAs left. And speaking of which, what is with this obsession with these ex-Rangers wanting to go to Detroit? Patrick Kane couldn't wait to re-up with them. Freaking Tarasenko went to them. Gustafson's with them. Adam Kopp is still there on some ridiculous contract. He's terrible. That was a dumb contract they gave Adam Kopp. Thank God the Rangers was like, no dice, Adam.
Andrew,
I'm sorry. Adam, Andrew, they're all the same. Good cop, bad cop. I don't know. I mean, he was good when he first came over here. He was not much in the playoffs. Come on. So there's a couple guys out there.
Got a 5-year, $28 million contract with Detroit.
Get the fuck out of here for that guy. What did he get? Like 5 goals last year?
I don't know. Let's see. By the way, I believe Cap Friendly is officially gone.
They got a new one that copied Cap Friendly. Cap.
He had 13 goals last year, 20 assists.
Wonderful. Worth every
money well spent.
Money well spent. They got like Cap. Somebody must know it there. It's like Cap Ticketmaster or something. Cap Master.
Capitron. There's another one I use, but what is it? Sport Track or something? Sport Track. That one's got a lot of contract information.
Well, Matt, you asked about me buying any property when I visited Detroit. I just wanted to get the hell out of there before I got killed.
Run
I was
for your
worried
life.
about my life. I went down in the business district. There were 2 people down there. It was bad.
It was nothing but business girls.
What?
It was nothing but business girls.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad. I mean, it looked like something from Omega Man, the original. Like post-apocalyptic scenes. So a couple people hanging out at Johnny's Ham King. Still don't know exactly what that means. All right. I just you got to cut bait with some of these younger guys that stink. Just because they're young doesn't mean they're going to be good. August 3rd, by the way, I will be reuniting with Mandar. I will get his takes. Maybe I'll video him saying some things to the Blue Shirt Underground.
Are you vacationing with him?
No, it's his 60th birthday party.
Oh.
Him and my friend John are having a 60th birthday party at my friend John's house. So
nice.
He's coming up from, I guess he lives in North Carolina. One of those Carolinas. I don't know. South Carolina, I think it is. Yeah, let's see. Mark, how are you, man? England. God
So
bless.
he's making the trip up. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Good to see you. Furthest travel to a viewing party.
Didn't he come with a young lady, or was that his wife? What was that?
He did, and I believe that now she is his wife.
Oh,
or now
congratulations.
Yes.
Probably been married like 10 years, and I'm like saying congratulations. Now, was Mark the postal worker?
No, that was Jeff Cooper, I think.
Wow. Huh.
Or since he's British, is it Joff Cooper?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Joffrey.
Right.
So I don't know what the Rangers are going to do with this money. I threw a name out there, and I was just ripped apart. Because it's not a sexy name. It's not a name that it's actually the opposite of a sexy name.
What was the name?
I'm going to say it because immediately it was like, well, where are we going to put him? Because we got certain guys. I think the Rangers should try to, again, it's not a sexy name. It's not going to inspire you to anything. As a matter of fact, Riley Smith might be more inspiring than this guy. But the guy got 20 goals last year. I think the Rangers are going to need depth at forward. The name I'm going to utter is Daniel Sprong. He's been around a while, but he's not too old. He had a good year with Seattle. He had he had 20 goals with Detroit last year. As a depth signing, the spring has sprung. I mean, maybe trade for him. Ship Kako off. He hasn't signed. I think he might not even be under contract. I don't think he's a UFA.
He's a UFA.
Okay, so I mean, we're in austerity mode, so let's just fucking go with it.
The potential fit for him comes from Arthur Staple of The Athletic, who proposes that the New York Rangers could make a run at the 27-year-old.
What?
Staple calls the winger an intriguing possibility.
I can't believe it.
Plus, he notes
I swear I did not read that.
And that Sprong has a connection to Peter Laviolette?
I have not sprung for Daniel Sprong. I just saying I've been looking at him, and I said, what did he make last year? Nothing, right?
Yeah, last year he was he had a $2 million year last year.
So give him 2.5 and make it a day, or $3 million. Give him Just don't sign it for 8 years with a no movement clause.
With a no movement.
Oh, so thank you. I feel bad. I feel good now, Jonathan. You made my day. The spring has sprung. I mean, he's not a new player, but he's
new to us. He'd be new to us. He'd be new to us.
He'd be new to us.
18 goals, 25 assists last year with the Detroit Red Wings.
What was he, a right wing?
One of his better seasons. Can play right or left wing. He is right-handed.
Put him on with
put him up there with the right.
Yeah, after Riley.
Why don't they put 2 forwards up there with the 2 of them and just play 1 defenseman?
He can't be worse than Jack Roslovic or Alex. When am I going to score, Berg? He's cheap. The other guy I like is that
Larry
Martin
Brooks
Nate. What?
I'm sorry. Just Larry Brooks had it in his column the other day, and I forget what the number was about how many different line mates they've tried with those 2. And it was a lot. It was 20 something, I think.
I'm trying to find the Swami hat. I don't think I have it with me.
Where's the Larry Brooks articles?
Let me look for the Swami hat.
We need the Swami hat?
Yeah. I found. Always keep your props nearby.
Right. You and Carrot Top.
Daniel Sprung come to the New York Rangers for 2.5. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. Also, I don't know why I have to do this voice when I do it, but also,
Song really slaps once it gets going, huh?
oh yeah. What is this? Like, what do they call this? Is this Bollywood?
I don't know. I just have it on the soundboard as Swami music.
Hey, get it going again. I want to dance a little more.
Hold on.
Let me I announce my other guy.
All right.
You know who I like? We should take a look at Martin Natchez. Martin Natchez, please come. We will pay you.
I can't remember where the hell I saw this.
$3 million. All right, don't worry about it. All right, stop with this. Wait, hold on.
It's just getting going.
All right, there goes that bit. Oh, my God. Where else are you going to see that?
Right. Nowhere.
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 Thank God you're not going to see that nowhere.
I have video I want to show you.
Video?
Yes. Well, it's funny for a couple of reasons, but I wanted to ask you, what do you think about Rangers sensation Shockwave Matt Rempe taking fighting lessons with George LaRock?
I don't know. I saw it. I mean, he does need to improve with his fighting. But I think people were looking like, oh, George is going to teach him when to drop the gloves and when not to. I don't think that's part of his teaching method. I think it's basically hold the guy off, punch, use your reach. Don't take – yeah. It looks like George is kept in shape after hockey. Then again, I should talk. No, I'm not. I don't think I was stroking out. I don't know. I'll have to find out later. I have to watch back to see if I was having a stroke. Isn't there something? I will get back to the subject. Isn't there something like a quick test you can do to test if you're having a stroke or something?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. I think if you can spell, I mean, if you could say stroke, you're all right.
Right.
All right. Now, well, let me ask you this question. What do you think about this?
I want somebody to teach him to play hockey better. More than I want to know,
Yeah.
Let me know when he's, working with, I don't know, Adam Graves to be a better hockey player. Whoever, let me know what he's learning more about, how to play in his own zone, how to put the puck in the net occasionally. The fighting, secondary. That's not all I keep hearing is you want to be more than a fighter, and that we want you to be more than a fighter. But then the first thing I hear is, he's learning how to fight.
Well, how long was he with George? Like a week or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Still there. He's living at his house. I don't know.
What is it, like a Karate Kid situation over there?
Yeah.
Rempe-san? Wax on, wax off.
Show me Sandaflo. Show me.
Oh, fast test for stroke. Face, arm, speech, time. Well, I fail every day of the week. I don't know what time it is. My face is all fucked up. My arms ain't that. My speech, I'm mispronouncing. Yeah, it's an acronym. I knew there was something. But all right. What's the time? I don't know. Ask Jim. I'm late for this show. I knew we had a show.
So I'm glad he's learning how to fight better.
Yeah, but
learn how to play better too.
Yeah, definitely. He's got, he's not a shoo-in to make this team coming out of camp.
Right.
And all Ranger fans are going to be fucking boo-hooing if that doesn't happen. He's a fan favorite, which he deserves to be. But as far as I'm concerned, and since Joe Long went to take the garbage out at 8 o'clock at night, not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't know why. I can say that being a Ranger fan for over 6 decades, that he needs to be vying for a position. He better not be spending 2 weeks with this guy. Spend a couple days. He needs to learn to fight better. He does.
For sure.
But his key to being in the NHL is his forechecking, his hitting, and going to the net. That's what he needs to do. Oh, Johnny Brodzinski.
Now you're getting the whole breakdown of the stroke thing here from Cutter. Aren't you glad you asked?
Yeah, well, no, sometimes I want to do sometimes. Oh, if I fail a test, then you call 911. Thank you, Cutter. You're a wealth of knowledge.
What if he can't remember the number for 911 because he's having a stroke?
Well, I think somebody else has to call.
Oh.
Have him alone.
Right.
I tell my cat. Meow, meow, meow.
Zuki, call 911.
Alexa, Siri, call 911.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm not going to have a stroke. So can we just stop talking about that?
Right. Because now if he has one.
Yeah. What happens if they get Daniel Sprong and I get so crazy I have a stroke? Well, you heard me mention another bit, that Martin Natchez guy. What's he making? I don't want to overpay for that guy. I don't think he's all that great. I mean, you listen to Ray Ferraro, you think this guy is like the greatest guy ever.
Oh, well, until he comes to the Rangers. Natchez is on the second year of a 2-year deal, but I guess he's looking for more, but the Hurricanes are still trying to sign him.
He's out.
We'd take him.
What was his stats last year? Make a trade, Drury. Make a trade, for Christ's sakes.
Sitting here like patience on a monument. 24 goals, 29 assists. We could use that.
Yeah.
Right-handed, plays center. We can use that.
We could use that. Hedel, Kako, throw them all like garbage.
34% on faceoffs.
Yeah, it'll fit right in. Wow. The old Rangers. The Rangers were good on faceoff. For the most part last year. All right.
So anyway, I found this video.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot all these.
No, it's fine. I was waiting until a good moment.
The Swami was gone.
Well, no, just wait until we were done with the topic. So there's this YouTube show. I guess it's a YouTube show. I mean, it looks like a YouTube show. It's an Islander YouTube show.
Is this the? I know they have one show. I'll tune into one. What's the name of the show?
Well, Hockey Night in New York.
No, I'm not familiar with this.
And apparently, they do this show from. I think they said they do this show from a mall or something like that.
Shannon Hogan's vagina. That's uncalled for. I'll tell you about the mistake. It was bad boy.
So, but they get Neil Smith first of all. Now, I think this show is. I think this is funny for a couple of reasons. But anyway,
look at Neil Smith.
But yeah, Neil.
What's going on with his face?
Well, I paused it at an inopportune moment here for Neil. But I love the fact that, first of all, he goes on an Islander show, doesn't come on a Ranger show. He dishes us, tells us he doesn't want to be a free guest. So I don't know if these jamokes are paying him. I mean, they have less subscribers to their show than we do. So I don't know who's watching this thing.
You know what's even more?
I love the fact that they refer to him as former Isles GM. What was he? He was the Islander GM for like a half hour, right?
Like 30 days. Like Jonathan Riggs said.
But he's talking about now. Supposedly, he says something. He wasn't on for that long. He's only on after this point that I have it paused. He's only on for about another 12 minutes.
It was like Mr. Rogers.
And he was only on with them for maybe 20, 25 minutes. And most of all I heard about what he talked about up to this point where I paused it was mostly the Islanders, guys he drafted, stuff like that. But I think this is where he starts to talk about actually being hired and then leaving the Islander job. But then he also says something. He apparently bashes the Rangers about how they've handled the Trouba thing. But I did not hear that part. So that's why I wanted to play this.
Would they have Spano on after this?
and run the Islanders and be in Bill Torrey's office, and that was a fantasy to me. And so I took the job at a not at a very good salary either, at a below what I probably should have been getting, but I wanted the job so bad. And I, once we were finished with the TV, we had the press conference and we started, and I knew I was in trouble the first day because suddenly we were going to have a meeting in the hotel, the Marriott across from the Nassau Coliseum, and there was about 7 or 8 people in there, and we were going to talk about various things. And then the next day we had another one. We were going to talk about various things, and the GM wasn't going to be a typical GM. It was going to be almost a committee type of decision making. And I'd come from being the head cook and bottle washer for the Rangers.
So just to clear that, just to clarify, he's got this job for an hour and he already knows he's in trouble.
For 11 years and had a lot of an autonomy with the Rangers. I was lucky. I was in a time that the Garden allowed me to do what I had to do. And so to go to the Islanders now and be not able to use the skill set that I thought that I had.
By the way, is Neil wearing Sam's hair for this interview?
I think he's got Rosen's rug.
Was very depressing. It was really a downer, and it wouldn't work. And I knew it wouldn't work. And I probably told too many people that this is never going to work. And some people overheard me saying that and told Charles about that. And I was so down about the whole experience. I didn't sign my contract. I wouldn't sign it. That was on my desk and I didn't sign it. Well, and the problem that eventually came from that was that when it went to arbitration in front of the commissioner, I had signed the employee handbook, I hadn't signed.
I'd love to see that.
They have to sign the employee handbook like you're working a great adventure.
Right.
The contract, of course, when the administrative assistant hands you the employee handbook, you just sign it because you know you're going to agree with anything you got to do as an employee. The contract was something else. I just hated being there. The only time I got to be alone or left alone was at free agent day when Ken Morrow was there with me, and I think we did a good job that day. And it ended up that team made the playoffs that year. I know at the last second, but they still made the playoffs. And poor departed Chris Simon was one of those players. And then at the draft, I knew I was in big trouble because I wanted to go up and announce, as all GMs do, right? Go up and.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Eddie?
He talks about Chris Simon like he was a flight. He departed. Okay, I know he's dead, but I'm sorry.
Announced the first pick, Kyle Oposo, and the owner said, "No, we'll have Teddy do it." And I said, "That's not what goes on." Well, that's why I want to do it that way, because I don't want to do it the way everybody else does it. And I'm like, holy crap, what have I got myself into here now? So it was just Nolan. It just was a bad situation.
Yeah, it must be. It must have been Ted Nolan, I guess.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I wish it hadn't been like that. But there's no way that I could have done it the way he wanted to do it. There's not a chance that I could have done that. I would have been depressed and not able to get out of bed in the morning. It was just because when somebody.
Yeah, he wouldn't sound so cheery like he does now.
Yeah. Did he ever get another job after that?
So full of life. I don't think so.
I don't think so, right?
Not a GM job.
Yeah.
Doesn't allow you to do your job. It's very depressing, especially when you're very experienced. It's like Ken Holland in Edmonton. I mean, 4 Stanley Cups, almost a 5th one. And I mean, there's a reason why he walked away from the Edmonton Oilers after going to Game 7 in the final.
Right. And Neil, I remember that summer, and I remember the excitement around Islander country, you coming in and Ted Nolan, and kind of like a restart, a fresh restart for the franchise. And there was a lot of excitement, and what a whirlwind it was with obviously the way that it ended up. But I'll tell you what, in 40 days, you got busy. You got a lot of work done. You talked about free agent day, and just to rattle off the Brendan Witt, Tom Poti, Mike Sillinger, Chris Simon, as you mentioned, you brought all those guys in.
Legends.
Oh, what a
What a murderer's row.
What a cast of luminaries.
I gotta tell you.
Oh, Tom Pody.
Tom Pody.
Oh, wow.
In a very short span of time, who were a huge part of that team being a playoff team. How did you get that all to come together and convince these guys to come to the island? Because I think
got talked to before July 1st.
Nice.
Because it just didn't happen back then. But I think what happened was there was some optimism on the agents and the players' part that I was there. And it was still fresh in everybody's mind that I had been successful with the Rangers and that I was somebody that had put good teams together, and that the Islanders now were going in a different direction than they had been going because they hired this guy. And if they hired this guy, they must want to go his direction. Well, unfortunately, he didn't want to go my direction. But they still had those players that I signed that day. And they had Ted Nolan who did a good job. So, it was, again, it was really unfortunate. It was an unfortunate time. It's not a time that I regret. I'm actually proud of the time that I was there, and I'm glad that I was there. I'm a little bit shy about, a lot of people introduce me as the only man to be GM of both New York teams. And while that's true, I never, there was no games under me during my tenure as GM. So
right.
I can just say that the things that I can say that I'm very proud of is the fact that they made the playoffs that year, and that I was insistent on Kyle Oposo as the first pick. And then
wonderful pick.
Guys, you'll remember the defenseman that we picked too that had played for Ted Nolan. He ended
is done in Nashville. Maybe who are winners so far of the offseason, maybe some losers, and maybe if you want, you could touch on the Islanders picking up Anthony Duclair.
Yeah, I think that the Nashville Predators have done amazing. I'm not going to go as far as to say I think that they did everything right, because they might be the oldest team in the league now. They've gone way old with these players they've taken. Not bad players, good players, but they're old. They're not young. If you look at their average age, I think they're going to be a definite playoff team, and maybe if that's Redmond to be the captain next year.
Oh, that must be
with Tampa Bay, but I'm worried for them in that they lost their captain and basically the staple of their franchise, the guy that's been there for so long and is emblematic and still a great player. I thought this past season did some good things for them. So I'm worried about them. My money is on Victor Hedman to be the captain next year. I think that one's plus he's the other guy in the ad that you always have to watch on TV.
Right. Yes.
Did I just get my Venmo money? Now he's laughing. Venmo came through.
Yeah, about the getting money for college.
Great one.
I think that Chicago did some interesting things. Anthony Duclair has had a suitcase career for sure. I mean, he's been how many teams now?
That's racist.
7 or 8, I believe. It'll be interesting to see. I know the Islanders signed him to a 4-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see where he fits, how he fits. He's definitely a good player. He's played really well for the Panthers last season when they went to the final, for Tampa this year. He's a good NHL player. I don't understand why he doesn't get to stay longer in any one place. And that may be something that will come out because
like when the Islanders trade him at the deadline.
And I'm not saying anything by that anyway. Believe me, I'm not saying anything.
Something.
I don't know Anthony Duclair.
You're saying
but
never stay
I'm curious
in
as
one
to why
place.
he has such short stints in different places. So we'll
Because
see. And
he
maybe
stinks
Patrick Waugh knows him
defensively.
somehow. That could be the case because it's pretty incestuous business where, as I said, Ted Nolan coached that defenseman, and then all of a sudden, you end up taking him because Teddy knew him so well. Maybe Patrick Waugh really wanted Anthony Duclair. That could possibly be the case, but it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to the first game against Utah for the Islanders. That's their home opener, and that should be fun. The other thing that I question is Varlamov or Sorokin, who's number one? I think I know who I think one guy.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If it's not Sorokin, there's a big issue. Last one for me here, like what's going on with the Rangers right now with Jacob Trouba, but also trying to do right by the team. How tough is that line to really, you don't want to be too much emotionally invested in a player, but also at the same time, it is a business.
It is. And, if you want to reflect back to my time, just to give an example, I mean, when Mark Messier, we were negotiating with him when his contract was up in 97.
I just want to hear what he says about Trouba. He's almost done. So
all right. He's about to talk about
the whole
Trouba.
reason. Admittedly, I apologize. This is very just. Ugh.
Our owners at the time didn't want to pay him more than they paid Gretzky. And they just were insistent with me, no, this is all you can offer him. So that's all I offered. The negotiations went back and forth for a while. And then Vancouver threw so much money at him, he couldn't possibly not go because the Rangers just weren't offering that. One thing that people don't understand is it's sometimes not the general manager because he doesn't have control of the purse strings. It's really the owner's money. So if you go to the Jacob Trouba thing, the thing that I'm surprised at in that situation is to allow this to happen and to allow it to happen publicly because, did Trouba have the greatest season? No. Played with a broken ankle, which is courageous, still puts the fear into the opponents every night.
Sure.
This is your team leader. This is your captain. From what I understand, that if the players had to vote to who should be the captain, they would still vote Trouba every time. So now you go to him and it leaks out that you've talked to Detroit because he's a Michigan guy. And so you've talked to Detroit. Now you ask him for his 15-team no trade list. They say, well, screw you. We're not giving it to you until June 1st or July 1st or whatever, the exact date that is in the contract. And what do? They put down as one of the 15 no trade teams, Detroit, because it's already gotten out there. Now you've got some muddy waters with maybe the most important guy on your team, the captain, the guy that has the most influence in the locker room. So it's going to be something that they're going to have to handle they're going to have to handle it.
Neil holding back a burp here or something, it seems like.
and it's a bit of a mess, I think, at least from the outside. They got to get Trouba back if he's mentally in trouble because of the fact that he feels not wanted. They're going to have to make him feel wanted again. It's a real tough situation.
Well, Neil, tremendous stuff. Really appreciate.
All right. I apologize that went on.
No.
They saved the best for
to that island.
They talked about the real team in New York.
I agree. But when they delve into that Islander shit, like the Islanders are bad, and I'm glad they're going to go with Varlamov because I think although he had a better year than Sorokin could be Shesterkin like around the right team, and if he's played regularly, they're not developing him. So he start Varley all you want,
right?
All you want. And lose Brock Nelson, your only legitimate goal scorer on that team.
They could start Kelly Rudy for all I care.
Yeah, I could give a shit. But, yeah, he looked weird. The Trouba thing was on point to basically what we've been saying. And
right. I mean, it was nice to hear. It was interesting to hear, somebody in the media, somebody with the experience of the job to say what we're saying. And that's that they have handled this very poorly, and I think the GM is. I think the GM is an amateur.
Exactly.
He's an amateur.
Do you think James Dolan had any thing with this? Like, I don't really want to pay him $10 million. Meanwhile, the Sphere is like going crazy. He's making all money hand over fist. He's purse string conscious. No, he's not. He's probably pissed as a salary cap.
I mean, but of course, Neil was with the Rangers before Dolan bought the team. So, he had different owners that he was dealing with. And I understand, what went on with Messier. But I mean, this is all the GM's doing. What's going on with Trouba?
Oh,
it's been handled like an amateur, and I think it goes back to what I said, whether it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whatever. The GM has issues dealing with people. I mean, we've seen blow-ups with coaches, blow-ups with players, and situations just being handled badly. This guy, I mean, again, this is the GM they couldn't let get away.
Well, let me
let him get away.
Like, Jim, did Chris Drury sign the handbook?
I don't know if he signed the employee.
You know, I mean, you got personal relations. You know,
be a loophole to
got
get
to
rid
look
of
into
him.
this.
We'll bring Neil back.
Well, you know what, man? As much as I don't like Neil Smith now because he betrayed us, the BSU faithful, and asking for money and all that bullshit. Like, get the fuck out of here. All right. He was a very good Ranger GM. Yeah, you know, you'll talk to people that, you know, when playoff time came around, he was down there when you used to go down and get tickets for the playoffs, go to the Garden. He was there. He was there when he was very hands-on with Ranger fans. He was a good GM. He wound up making some trades that not so good, especially post-Cup. But after that, I got no qualms with him as the Ranger GM. Obviously, won a fucking Stanley Cup. None of the other fucking fools could do it. But you're right, Jim. Chris Drury, you looking at his face. He's got people's problems. Okay.
This is my private conversation, by the way, with Neil Smith. This is look at it. This started in April of 2017, playing footsie with this guy. His asking him to be his guest. His answer was perhaps. You picked the night. Then 2 months, he never answered me. Then I asked him again. Then I picked a date. Then I picked another date. Then he asked how long. Then I said, how long can you give us? No chance on an hour. Here it is. I do radio interviews all the time. They're 10 minutes at the most. I really don't want to be a free guest on anybody's show for more than a few minutes. Then I said, fine, 15 minutes. Okay, here's the number. Here's how you call in. And that was the last time oddly enough, June 14th, I never realized that. June 14th was the last time I spoke to Neil Smith 7 years ago. But that's the conversation. 3 months I played footsie with this idiot, and then he ditched me. Us.
Well,
he goes on an Islander show. We would have celebrated that man for 6 hours if he'd come on here. Joe made us a special graphic where he's holding a cup and we're a cup. I mean, it would have been a coronation. The man's a god as far as I'm concerned. He did something nobody's ever done in my lifetime. Treated me to a parade. He was part of a perfect storm.
Maybe he's going. Maybe he's got mental problems. Who knows?
Must be. He's hanging out with Islander fans, celebrating his 30-day. What did Matt call it? His summer internship.
I don't even understand why you would want that as a guest as an Islander fan. That's a fucking. Again, like I said, who's next? Spano? Right. Who's Alexei Yashin? Who's next on this fucking? I mean, Islander mistakes.
Right.
The head of the Outhouse Project
and doing their own bracket of misery.
Charlie Wang's son, Little Wang. I mean, really. I mean, it.
Little Wang.
Do you remember that?
I
do. Remember that the video? Yeah,
I remember that. Little Wanger.
Little Wanger. I mean, well, you could have Kirk Muller on when he got traded to the Islanders. He cried. That was great. I don't understand. I think the Rangers, if the Rangers stand pat, I think they'll win 50 games again. I think they have a good core, but I would love to see them fill in some of these gaps. But I think, like you said to start the show, they're going to run the fucking same old out there and hope for different results. It's fucking playing Yahtzee.
Again, I think some teams in the division, and we'll talk more about it as the summer goes on, but there's a couple of teams, at least in the division, that have gotten better. I think it's fair to expect the Islanders to be better. The Devils are definitely going to be better. The Flyers, they might be better. Might be. I don't know. That could all go south at any moment with that man behind the bench. They could be flying high, and then like they were last year, and then he could sabotage the whole thing. So who knows what's going to happen with Philly? I don't know. Washington, will they be better? I don't know. But did the Rangers get better? I think all the Rangers did was get cheaper. But we'll see.
Everest is saying that he did a long show with Big Apple Hockey, and it must have paid big money to have.
Right. They must have had a lemonade stand to raise money. They had a GoFundMe to pay for Neil Smith to come on the show.
Yeah. To go
Either
on.
that or maybe Neil's less hard up for cash than he was then. I don't know.
Did he wear Sam Rosen's toupee too? On that show?
Anyway.
Richard Paul. Bruno Gervais is next. Oh, well. I don't know about the other teams. I really haven't gotten into it.
Who is the other guy they drafted that just put out the rap record? Hosang? What the hell's his name?
Oh, Josh Hosang?
Josh Hosang?
Yeah. Hosang, did you see?
Is he coming on next week?
It was a total bust. I hope they lose Brock Nelson, though. Because he's the only, serviceable guy. Because that Matthew Barzal is overrated. He's like the epitome of a Ranger. Skates around for an hour, but the production just isn't there. I'll ask this question to you, Jim. We'll stick. Joe Long is still throwing out his garbage, by the way. Joe, man, if you want to leave, you can just leave. You have to make up some phony baloney excuse. I mean, where'd you go to Staten Island? You go to Killfish? All right. What's it saying? Oh, yeah. Will Cooley. You know him, you love him. What do you think his ceiling is as far as a projected lineup and maybe a goal total? Career for next year and then career.
I think I would say if he turns into a 15, 20 goal scorer.
Well, he's almost there already.
Well, yeah. I think that's how many did he have this year? 12, 13, something like that?
I'll have to go to the videotape.
I'm looking right now. What did he finish with? He had 13 goals, 8 assists.
Joe snapped back at me.
What a FaceTime.
Good one, Joe. Good for you. Don't take no shit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think if he's a 15 to 20 goal guy.
You don't think he's better than that? I mean, Matt Beast says third line, 15 goals. I think he could play second line, don't you think? I mean that'd be his highest ceiling.
Yeah, but if he plays second line, who's he displacing?
Well, I'm talking down the line. He's a young kid here.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I was pretty happy with his first season. Let's see what he does next year. I think they'd be reasonably happy if he became a 15 to 20 goal guy.
I'm with Euro trash on this. I think he could be a net front presence similar to Kreider if he makes his mind to do so. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
But we see, I guess we'll temper expectations.
Right, which is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
after all, these are the Rangers.
Yes. Also, a lot of people talking about Sean Monahan. Is Sean Monahan a UFA? Because when I looked into him further, What was he on? He's on
He
the
signed with
Cap.
Columbus.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay. I always get him mixed up with the other guy. So maybe who's the other guy I always get mixed up? Sean Monahan and
Ryan Callahan?
no. I don't know. Sean Monahan, what's his gameplay totals in the last couple of years? Was he on the Capitals?
No, he was with Calgary.
All right.
He's been
So
with Calgary, Montreal, and Winnipeg.
Okay. Who was on the Capitals like last year? I got Monahan and him confused. I think I did it again. Son of a bitch. Can anybody read my mind? I'm having a stroke. Face.
Sonny Milano.
No, Sonny Milano is the fucking chia pet.
Connor McMichael. That's who you're thinking of.
No.
No?
This guy's been injury prone a lot. Oh, man. I'm have to go in my fucking. Forget it. It's not that important if I forgot it.
I don't know who you're thinking of. I'm looking at their roster from last year. I honestly can't think of who you're thinking of.
I don't know. Salmon. Maybe he got traded. Sean Monahan, he was on Calgary.
Yes.
I think I gotta look this up. It's killing me. It is killing me.
Garnet Hathaway.
No. That reminds me of that Ranger. Wow. I put up Washington roster and I got the Commanders.
Anthony Mantha.
That's it.
Oh.
That's it.
That's it.
Anthony Mantha, what's his status?
He just sign with somebody?
I don't know.
Pretty
Couldn't
sure
even remember his name. Why do I always get those two guys mixed up?
He signed with Calgary.
Because when did he sign that? Last Tuesday?
Must have been just within the last couple of days. Yeah. It was since free agent. He just signed with them because he was traded to Vegas and then at the trade deadline.
Oh, he signed. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about Mo Mantha?
His father.
Maybe we can get him.
Defenseman with the Winnipeg Jets.
Maybe we can get him.
He could run a power play like nobody fucking business.
Right.
Everybody was hot on him. I'm like, you look at this guy's games played. He played like 70 games last year, 60 games, and then like 40, 30. I go, yeah, that's all we need is an injury-prone fucking guy. Good. Take him off the list.
Right. Cross him off the list.
Oh, he signed July 1st. Well, I'm a little behind the time.
Eddie's been out of the country.
I've been out of the country. So do you want to hear I made a mistake? Or we really don't care? I don't care how big you are. If you can't stay healthy, we got enough big.
Yes, we'll wrap it up with your you made a mistake story.
All right. It was more of a moral mistake.
Oh.
You tell me what you guys would have done. Jim, you tell me what you would have done.
All right.
Okay. I get the stupid ass fucking flat on my car.
Okay.
This is like the second flat that I've had in like the last 3 months.
Right.
Meanwhile, I have my car serviced at an auto tire place. So I don't understand. What are they doing? Sticking things in there so I have to come back? I don't know. I advise anybody of any age that it should get that AAA card, man. Guy comes, there you go, Joe. Me and you were simpatico. AAA is the best. They send some dunderhead out. He's some kid. He'll take it all. He does all the work. You don't have to do shit. And it's free. It comes with the whole thing. I thought I tipped the guy. I'm that kind of man. I'll tip a man.
Right.
A guy. So, yes, Matt. I love AAA. I would be a spokesman if they asked me. Well, I should ask them to sponsor
and he
this
still
show.
goes and gets a triptych when he goes on vacation.
Yes, I have them mark it out in that green marker highlighter and
Gets
I
his
flip
tour
it.
book.
Costa used to work at AAA.
And somehow they're still in business.
Yeah, wow. I think he got fired because he took off his shoes during work. Anyway, so I get the tire. He did. I think he was supposed to refill the triptych maps or something like that. That was his job. He had some. He had some fucking rinky dinky hooky faluki job there. They stuck him in the basement. So he was out of like sight. I mean, I wonder if he could corroborate this one night.
He's not here tonight.
I know. And they caught him with his shoes off downstairs. He's just relaxing. He got shit canned. Anyway. So, all right. So now I got the donut. Oh, the donut. Everybody loves the donut. So I got to get a new tire. So I usually go to City Tire, which is my auto mechanic, whatever. I know this is going to be a kind of a long story, but what the fuck? It's not going to be that long. So I decide that I'm not going to go to City Tire. My lovely wife says, go to Discount Tire. Discount Tire? Now, you have to understand, I have no idea how much tires cost. I have no idea. All right. When it comes to automobiles, I know jack squat. Apparently a new tire, cost you $200 or something like that?
Oh, it's a racket.
It's a racket? And you got to buy 04. They tell you to buy 4. Yeah. There it is. Discount Tire. So that's the actual building right there. This place used to be a place called Straub's Market back in the day. It was a meat market. And by the way, I don't mean a meat market like a disco place where you used to pick up chicks. Well,
it does look more like a meat market than a tire place.
Yes. So this place, Straub's Market, the guy, suspicious fire, put him out of business in the 80s. Anyway, I won't use the expression we use, but that's what it was. Okay. So my wife tells me to go. So I say, how do I get to this place? It's right in town here. She goes, well, I usually go in the back of this place called Flanagan's. It's a bar. And then I go around in the back. It's in the back.
Oh, you got to go to Flanagan's.
Why? I got to go to Flanagan's.
Sorry.
And I'm like, this sounds messed up. I got to go in the back. Like there's no entrance in the front. So I go in the back and there's like 3 different alleyways towards this place. So I have to pick which alleyway to go down. Well, I picked the wrong one. I wind up next to like some salon or some shit. And as I'm going down the alleyway, it's getting thinner and thinner as I go down. Less width. Not talking about my penis. Just less width in the alleyway. And there are cars parked on both sides of the alleyway. And I scratch a car. Well, I back up. Like, what the fuck? I'm losing my mind. I'm
sorry.
So now what am I going to do? All things are going in my fucking mind like, there's cameras now everywhere. I got to, do I do the right thing and leave a note?
Hell no.
I mean, I'm a man of conscience. I used to be like, fuck you. I don't give a shit. No, you never get me. But now I'm a man of conscience. Conscious. Wait, no, am I conscious? No. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm a man of
You have a
conscience.
conscience.
I have
You
a
have a
conscience now. So I fucking decide. I go in reverse. I park further back, and I come back and look at. I try to assess my damage. It's fucking pretty bad. The whole door, their door is scraped. It's got little dents. And I'm looking around, surveying the situation, looking for cameras. I couldn't be more obvious. Like, if there is cameras, like, this guy gets out and starts looking around. And meanwhile, you're talking about, I live in a podunk town here. I mean, I can be identified at any time. Here I am in my Dungeons and Dragons shirt. I can be spotted on camera.
Somebody might know you from the show. Aren't you that YouTube guy?
Secret Squirrel? Is that Gerard Gallant?
It's Eddie turning down the alleyway.
Let me ask you this. What are you doing? Are you leaving a note or you're not leaving a note? Now, you have to understand, I'm frustrated as fuck. I got this donut. I'm down the wrong alleyway. Clear directions were not given to me.
I gotta be honest. If that's me, I'm probably not only leaving a note, but I'm probably hanging around for a while to see if somebody shows up, because it's the type of thing that I just know will come back to haunt me. Like, if I don't leave a note, if I don't tell them what's going on, the axle on the car will fall off on my way home while I'm trying to make my getaway. You know how Maud used to say, God will get you for that, Walter? That's what I hear. I hear my mother. God will get you for it, Jimmy.
Well, I decided not to leave a note. So I go over to the tire place. I leave my car. I finally find this fucking tire place. It's like some fucking, I don't know. It's just, there was a front entrance, but I wasn't given that information. I'm so mad. I'm livid. Oh, dude, it's the maddest I've been in 20 years. So, yeah, I got this tire. Can you fix it? Now, this is supposed to be a place where you get it fixed like boom, bang, sping. It'll be an hour. An hour? What are we, reinventing the wheel? Well, I guess maybe we are. I just went to I said, well, how much are the tires? Well, we have this Cooper for $100. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because, all right, got a good price. I'm waiting. I go back home. My wife drives me back. Hour and a half. I'm gonna progress this. I'm fuming still. I'm livid. Still mad. Oh, we can't get the tire on because the lug nut is trying to think of the word. What's the thing that Jesus? I can't think of the word. The lug nut goes on. That fucking thing you screw it on there. What's it called?
Right.
Somebody knows this. What?
You talking about the actual post?
Yeah, but they call it something else. They call it something else.
Right.
Like it snapped off.
Oof.
Okay. And now, all right. So now I have to fucking, he says, we couldn't put the tire on. So now I got to drive it with the donut back to my normal place, City Tire. Guy says, oh, it's got a big sign in front. Don't call us. We'll call you when your car is done. I bet he was having a bad day. People call him, when my car done? I wait 2 days. I get the car back. He's like, we put the tire on. I go, what tire? The tire that was in your trunk. The guy forgot at the discount tire, forgot to put the tire back. So now I got a free tire. You understand? You follow?
I follow you.
All right. Moral dilemma number 2.
Wow.
The advice I'm getting from all my friends is fuck it. Fuck it. You had bad luck. Don't go back. I said, listen, I do not want to be public enemy number 1 in Lake Ronkonkoma. There's cameras all over the fucking place. I mean, around here all the time. I'm paying for the fucking, oh, you're a fool. You're a fool. Well, wound up, I went back and told them about the mistake, which they didn't even know they made, and paid for the tie. So I figured in my head, my rationalization is, all right, I fucked up morally. I made a mistake on the 1, but I did good on the 2nd, so it's a wash. So far, yeah. What do you mean? What? I feel like you're like, I'm being judged.
You're not being judged at all. Look, you didn't. I got to be honest with you. At the end of the day, you didn't hit my car. I don't give a shit.
Why are you parking in an alleyway, asshole?
Right
on the side. That's what I was like. That's how I justified it in my head. Here comes Eddie.
Here comes Eddie.
He's all steamed.
In a 2024 Escalade coming down an alleyway.
2024. Are you kidding me? So I figured I did good and I did bad. And I usually always do the right thing, but I just didn't want to get into it with the insurance and the people and how dare you and why and when, you know. So far, then I'm worrying the next 2 days the cops are going to be like hit and run. They're coming to Stately Geik Manor. They're fucking they got a SWAT team out there.
12 points on your license.
Yeah, right? So that's my story. So I made a moral
driving you around town.
I know. I know, man. I mean, but see, you have to understand when my wife knows and my dad and his new wife know, and she's an ex-nun. Like, if I don't pay for that, I got to deal with those eyes.
Your wife is your moral compass.
She is.
That's okay.
I've become much more of a moral person since I met my wife. You can even ask my girlfriend. Those are the jokes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah,
15
I know.
years ago, Eddie would have hit the car, not left a note, took the tire, and then took the tire back the next day and said, I bought this. I don't want it. Can I get a refund?
That's what I should have done. See? You're a schemer. I'm not a schemer. I can't deal with lies anymore. Well, you know. So that's my mistake story. I know it wasn't fucking riveting, get it? But you know. I do News 12.
News 12.
You see me in my Dungeons and Dragons shirt, all fucking red face, looking to kill somebody.
Right. All right. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
On
God
that
bless
note,
you, Ranger fans. God bless the United States.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We love you guys. As always, click the bell, subscribe to the show. We want lots of subscribers. Sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/Blue Shirt Underground Show. Contribute $1, $2, $3, $5. We don't care. Any contribution, you get all the benefits of being a Patreon member. There's no levels. There's no nothing. You're in, you're in.
We got big things planned.
We got big plans. Trust me. I'm not, this isn't hyperbole, as they say. 2025, we have big plans for Patreon people. So we'll see you there. Eddie, always a pleasure. We'll see you guys in a week or so. If something goes on, we'll be on sooner. We love you. That's all I got. Good night, everybody.
I'll be back if I'm not in jail. Good night, everybody. Let's go, Rangers.